So right now it's about 11:10. I felt Tina get out of bed for some reason. She's been doing really well, but I'm a little skeptical about what's going on right now. So I'm about to sneak up on her. See what she's doing. What are you doing? What did I? You cannot be eating stuff like this. You've been doing good. What are you doing?
I was hungry.
I know, but
Can I still have it?
it's in your mouth now. What you mean, can you still have it?
Can I have this one too?
You might as well eat it now.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, so for my family, tonight I am making garlic noodles and mahi mahi, and I just wanted to show you guys my recipe. I will not probably be eating this for my diet. I'm gonna have to check with Coach. I have the noodles already pre-cooked, and we're gonna start with the garlic process. Now, normally you would see people using 4 tablespoons of butter, which I will, but I also like to add a couple teaspoons of coconut oil. Why do I do this? It just adds a little bit of slip and a little bit of sweet flavor to the noodles. And I'm going to add the 4 tablespoons of butter. That's dope. They have the tablespoons already. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna add that up in there. So I chopped up about 4 cloves of garlic, and we're gonna just put that in there. What you want to do is just stir it, and you want to saute the garlic up until it starts to be brown, light brown, not dark brown. All right, so once your garlic is sauteed lightly, you're gonna use oyster sauce. Rapidly put your noodles in there. Where's my thong? Here it is. That thong, the thong, thong, thong. So we're gonna just put our noodles in there. Let all that flavor get on each and every noodle if possible. I normally add oregano to everything, and the reason why is because it adds a little bit of herb flavor. But one tip that a lot of us don't realize is that an oregano boosts the immune system. You're gonna need Parmesan cheese. Now the rich use actual Parmesan and grate it into their noodles. However, we city folk gonna use the bottled one. So just sprinkle all that in there, and then you just gonna moisturize all that in there. But there you have it, garlic noodles.
Tina is having little problems sticking to her diet, so I'm going to change her diet up now. A lot of the stuff that you're going to be eating will look like this.
What is that?
Okay, so what we have here, we have quinoa, we have cabbage, we have shrimp, we have garbanzo beans, and we have mushrooms. And this is what you're going to be eating. So I hope that you're happy about that.
Yum.
Yeah. first time we actually spoke to each other, I was walking home from class one day. This is around the time where I actually started noticing her. And I was walking to my dorm, going to go get ready for track practice. And I see her walking toward me. She wasn't in class that day. So I'm getting nervous because I'm like, dang, she's walking toward me. That means I might have to talk to her. So she walks up. She was like, hey, did you go to class today? I was like, yeah. She said, do you have the homework? I was like, yeah. And that was kind of the last time we talked for a while. But then I started seeing her a lot more. We were both in the CSUN choir.
Yeah.
And that's when we really started seeing each other a lot. One day she had her hair braided. She had some glasses on. And me being...
No, my hair was pressed.
No, your hair was braided.
No, it was pressed.
Her hair was pressed. I thought it was braided. And I walked over to her and I was like, you know what? Your hair actually looks better like that. Kind of disrespectful, I guess.
Right,
but
because that was pro-natural.
Yeah, I didn't think it was disrespectful when I said it, but, once I got older, I was like, yeah, that was a little...
Well, it was actually, I think your time frame is off. The first time we actually spoke and met unofficially, was when we were in the hallways. So pretty much as a freshman, a little too hot to trot, I was on the prowl for a boyfriend, someone that can buy me snacks and lunch and we could do homework together. Me and my homegirl, Lele, that's what our goal was. It should have been them grades, but apparently we were on some other tip. We were only 17, so to throw young 17-year-olds in a world of guys was like, oh my gosh, boyfriends. So I was in the hallway getting ready to go to my math class. And I'm already on the prowl like a crowd. So I see this young chocolate thing sitting up against the wall. He had a white t-shirt on, some gray sweats, some white Air Force Ones, and them chunky swap meet socks that you chunk down. And he had like a little silver chain, the little bone chains. It was held together by a safety pin, but I didn't mind. And I was like, oh, he's cute. In my head, I'm like thinking like, dang, he's so cute. But he probably got all these girls. He probably got like a gang of girlfriends and I'll never have a chance. But me being me, I went over to him in front of everybody. The first words I ever said to him was like, hey, Tyrese. Oh my goodness. As you see, as dark as he is, he turned red. He was little did he know I was wifey. Next time we spoke, I was like pro Black Panther, even though the Black Panthers didn't exist for decades since I got to school. But I was into naturals. I wore my hair in afros and braids and things like that. And like he said, we had a choir together. And just that one time, I decided to press my hair just to see the length that it was growing. Mind you, he hasn't said a word to me in all those interactions. He comes up to me and says, oh, your hair looks better that way. I was like, word? So I was like, all right, I don't like you, bruh, because I like my braids and my naturalness. So after that, I was completely offended. And I gave up hope. I was like, no, he's not the one. Until we had choir practice. I'm a soprano. You were what? A tenor. And one of the girls what was Lisa? She was an alto?
Lisa's an alto.
Alto,
Yeah.
right. We're all standing, right? There's no bleachers. We're all just standing in the room just singing. What was it? Was that a Kurt Franklin song? Stomp. I don't know. It wasn't probably Stomp. It was something. So I'm standing, warming up. Right? This girl that I didn't know at the time, but later on, her name was Lisa. I found out her name. I'm warming up. She comes up to me. You know what? What it was I was looking back at him. I don't know. I guess I still liked him. I was kind of glancing back. Glancing back. And I think she probably saw it. she comes up to me and she was like, you know him? I was like, a little bit. She was like, that's your husband, right? And I was like, what? I just turned to the front. I was like, oh, she probably saw me looking at him. I just turned to the front and just kept warming up. And I never forgot about that, though. To this day, I asked her, I was like, Lisa, you remember when you prophesied that this man would be my husband? Well, look, he is. Ha, ha, ha. But that's how we met. I think it was probably a month and a half into our dating. And I already knew that there was something special about the connection between him and I. But I had like little signs, that there was something extremely special. Like when we first started dating, my little pet name for him was Sunshine. And because he would brighten up my day whenever I saw him, and he'd make me smile. And one day, I think it was a month in, I was going through his little box of trinkets in his room, pens and pencils. And he had a keychain, and on his keychain it said Sunshine. I was like, bro, this is my pet name for you. How come you didn't tell me you had this? I was like, that's just such a coincidence. And he was like, oh, there's no such thing of coincidences. I was like, well, then you really are my little sunshine. But also another thing that happened, we were in the dorms together, and we fell asleep. We weren't doing anything kinky, you know what I'm saying? We were just tired. And we fell asleep, a holy cuddle. We would holy cuddle, and we fell asleep in holiness, right?
Right.
And it was during the day, and I never dream. Well, first of all, I don't take naps, so that was weird in itself. But I dreamt, and I dreamt that we were in the same environment. We were on the bed together, and he turned to me and said, I love you. And in my dream, I was kind of taken back because it felt real. And I was like, you love me, to myself in my dream. And then that was just the dream. And so when we both woke up for the nap, I said, Mike, I was like, you know what happened to me while I dreamt? I was like, something weird. I said, I had a dream that you said you loved me. And what did you tell me?
I said, I actually had the same dream that you told me you love me.
I was like, what? That was crazy. So, at that point, I knew there was something special about this union.
It took a little longer for me. Like she said in the last episode, I was an insecure little boy. So the fact that she still waited out the whole process of me becoming an actual man, her knowing things about me that no one really knew, and she still believed that there was something special in me. At that point, I knew. I was like, this woman's different. I didn't have any money. I was a college athlete. I was a student. I didn't have anything, and she still embraced me. It was like, yes, you are the one.
You had a whole lot that you didn't understand you had.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't understand who I was. I didn't understand what I was. I would allow things to dictate my actions, and she still held on. And most women nowadays, especially in marriages, single married people, they walk away from that. They're like, no, this is too much. I'm not going to deal with it. But she didn't do that, and I knew at that point, you got to hold on to that one, sir. Yes and no. Going into college, my mindset was I'm going to find a wife in college. That was my mindset.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had that idea going in. Thing is, because my relationship with Christ wasn't as tight in my early 20s, I didn't really seek him for that. It was more so when I got to know him, then my mindset shifted on, I need you to be the center of our marriage so that it lasts. So no, in the beginning I did not, but once my relationship with the Lord got stronger, then I was implementing that into my prayers and things like that.
For me, it was different because, as I said, everything did seem special and there was something special about connection. However, there was a lot of opposition for this relationship coming from the outside and on the inside between both of us, because we both had issues that the Lord needed to work out before we, became one. Like Pastor Andrea Humphrey from Hope's House used to always say that your partner doesn't make you whole. You both have to be whole first together to actually become whole. And that's a true statement for us, at least. But yeah, I prayed and I seeked the Lord, and I honestly didn't take heed to his signs. And Michael doesn't know this, but I would pray and ask the Lord if this is my husband. And every time I would pray, because it would be in sporadics, maybe a couple weeks here and there, because I felt like I wasn't getting an answer, but the Lord was giving me an answer, just not what I was expecting. So pretty much after I prayed, each time we'd get an argument, and his personality would just, his negative personality, his attitude would just frail up. And after the third or fourth time of praying, and the Lord is showing me the things that he needed to work on him before we got together, I realized, I was like, Lord, every time I pray, if this man is supposed to be my husband or we're supposed to get married, he got an attitude. Are you telling me that we're not supposed to get married right now? And that obviously, yes. But at the time, I loved him so much, and it was so fragile that I didn't trust the Lord enough to walk away and let the Lord work on him and work on me before he brought us together. I wanted to hold on and ride this roller coaster ride just so that I could, try to control things and be like, nope, ain't no other girl gonna come up in here and try to swoop on me. But that was fear. Fear didn't allow me to trust the Lord in this relationship. And because of that, I had to go through all the growing pains and experience the growing pains with him, opposed to the Lord dealing with me and dealing with him separately. It caused a lot of damage and a lot of unnecessary experiences that could have been prevented. And then I believe if this was truly my husband, which I know he is, the Lord would have brought us together when in the right timing. We're the Wellingtons.
We hope our truths help you grow.